Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to this, depending on wherever you may live, this early morning or middle of the night bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And folks, they really do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into this middle of the night or early morning bonus upload, shall we? All right, everybody. Today I have a guest that I have really wanted to have on since I received his first email. He shared his encounters with me via email, and he was a little hesitant to come on and talk, but through time and thinking about it, he was able to. Tonight I have Benjamin with us. Benjamin, how are you today?
Doing pretty well, Jeff. It is an honor and a pleasure to be chatting with you, man.
I appreciate you coming on. I had a great time. Benjamin and I had talked a little bit before the interview, and it was a good time. Super nice guy. And so right now I'm going to hand the platform over to you, and that way you can share with everybody what has been going on and what you've experienced.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Jeff. I'll try to be brief and direct about it because, as we just went over, there's some very complicated, traumatic stuff around these two incidents, but I sort of want to, I'm sorry, just we just discussed it, but the nature of it is just very persistently unsettling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm just reframing, and I don't want to rush into it, but I want to
take your time. However it listen.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, no. Sorry. So, so the first one happened in another country that I don't want to get into immediately, but as we've discussed, I do want to talk with you about and talk about generally, but it's complicated and traumatic and very strange. So this happened about 20 years ago, and it was in a country where I was not fluent in the language. So when it was initially explained to me, what I was shown, I swear honestly, normally I speak more coherently. This is just one of the most traumatic things I've ever experienced.
Honestly, Benjamin, once everybody hears and understands, they'll understand. So don't worry about it. You don't need to apologize, my friend. We're all here for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. And just Ben is fine. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So I was shown a video of what appeared to be two young boys, about 9 years old, I think, like 9, and the other being a bit younger, maybe, that I believe, for the reasons we discussed, appeared to be being held somewhere. And it was very upsetting. And I tried to tell someone right after I had seen this what it was that I had seen, but because of the supernatural, uncanny part of it and the way I tried to express it, I don't want to say just I was dismissed, but it was not clearly communicated, and it has been haunting me. Right. And it is an unburdening to share with you and to be expressing this to the world, because while I was really hesitant about doing this like as an interview, I also need to testify to this thing I saw, and it outraged me at the time because of the context, as we discussed, and we'll get to. It just still disgusts me and puts my hackles up, and not to do with the video, but with the people who showed it to me, and everything is this.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, and I'm just trying to sort out in my head the way to talk about these two things, the thing that I saw and the context that I saw it in, which is that the first one was these two boys who appeared to be changing into something like dogs or like hyenas, kind of like this hair grew and their faces, the shape of their faces changed as I was watching this. And like we discussed before, this was a few years after The Lord of the Rings came out, so CGI stuff of the time could maybe have done something that looked as smooth as what I saw, but this did not look like it was professionally done. It was not like today when there's so much CGI and effects and everything that I would have. The thing about it, one of the things about this that has kept it in my mind all this time is the fact that their eyes did not change. It was like the shape of their faces changed, and there were these things that happened, but it looked like these two sad kids that were being held in someone's basement, and that were in somewhere underground, this place. And then it looked like these two sad, thin dogs that were being held in the same room. And if it was a photo swap thing, it was very smoothly done. It could have been, but it just looked very real and very, it was very tough to see. And then, like we discussed, and I don't want to just be talking and talking. I know it's the worst habit, whatever, but just gabbling on. But the second part of it, I just want to say, and then we can do a few questions about it. But when I asked the people who showed this to me what it was that I was being shown, they told me that they're not human. They're like a kind of animal that can make itself look human. And so I don't know whether the thing that I saw was real or if it was some kind of hoax.
Right.
But I do know for a goddamn stone solid fact but the people who showed it to me did not believe that these kids were equally human. And this is something that revolted me very deeply, and it still does. And I can't actually say what it means to be saying this to you now and to be getting this out, because like I said on the call before, when the Kids in Cages stuff came out in 2018, I have been vocal about that. I've been, I was immediately disgusted by it, but I was not surprised by it because I had seen it before. I've seen this kind of thing, and it is the dehumanization and taking kids away from their parents is unfucking acceptable. It's disgusting.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had just said, you saw this 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And for people out there, there is now CGI, but 20 years ago, for someone to create a hoax video would be so hard. I mean, this is a time of, prior YouTube, when kids were watching Faces of Death. The internet wasn't monitored like it is now.
Shock sites and stuff.
Exactly. So the way...
Yeah, and like we said before, this was like... sorry, Jeff, but...
no, it's fine.
But just also because this was before YouTube, but it was being shown to me on someone's laptop, showing each other videos on YouTube. And also, I want to make sure to say this and to be clear about this, that along with, because I think I may not have, I'm sorry, this is all just very emotional and strange and the everything. But when I initially asked them what it was that I was seeing, I think I skipped over what I told you before, which was that they answered me first in the local language, which was not, I didn't understand, but I think they used a short word when I said what and I think from, looking into stuff in the past year and a half, whatever, since all of this has come back up, and since your channel actually with that one photo from your friend in West Virginia that was more like the second one, the one that I saw in New Hampshire.
Right.
But this first one was not in the United States. And as we've discussed, I don't want to specify immediately, but I'm sorry, I'm just repeating stuff, and it's all complicated.
That's fine.
And
it's complex, and it's traumatic for you.
Yep.
You saw something that you can't explain. The thing is that, just so everyone knows, he's looked for this video online. He's not found it. It's affected him mentally for a long time. And, to see two boys possibly being held captive for whatever reason, transforming, and then seeing their human eyes, then they weren't angry looking eyes. They were just sad.
No, they look scared.
Yeah. And who knows, where they were. They could, like you and I had said, government, or possibly whatever, maybe their family knew they were shapeshifters and they were trying to keep the village safe. But either way, these little boys were kept captive and they were scared.
And also the fact that I'm pretty sure that the video I was being shown was of something that was not in the place that it was being shown to me in. Like, it may have been elsewhere in the country. It may have been in another country.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so very importantly, though, the word that they used, I think, was some version of Boda, Buddha, or maybe Beta, which lines up with some of the, the were hyena that is talked about and used by that name.
It's like a black
when I
magic.
found out about that, it really clicked something, because I had been trying to remember what it was they had said they were, because I was very shocked by all of it in the moment, and I wasn't able to follow up on this for various reasons. But the Boda or Beta, whatever, I'm not sure the pronunciation exactly, but they're supposed to be shapeshifters that are like hyenas, but they can make themselves look like people, and that's basically what I was told.
Right. And that's, like when you and I had spoke, the second you said Boda to me, my brain went like a million miles an hour, and I'm like, wait, what? And they were, a Boda is, like Ben just said, almost like a shaman of someone that could transform into a were hyena. I am blown away at this. I'm appalled that these kids were, whatever predicament they were in is definitely scary for a child, even if they were Boda. You know what I mean? There's got to be a better way of keeping them safe, but to make a video of their transformation and then to somehow leak it to the internet is even more disturbing.
And the fact that, like I said before, and I don't know, and I feel calmer now that the main part of that is out, but I said to you, when they showed me this, they laughed. Like they said, something to the effect of like, aren't they weird? Aren't they, like it was some kind of joke. And it still makes me sick and angry and feel just, like whatever it was, whether it was two boys or two boys and two dogs that they, blended the video together of, like in whatever case, it was pretty, it was unsettling to see, but it was also really sad. It wasn't just weird, but there were a lot of things around this that were very disturbing in these other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said prior to this, I said that right there just shows that you're a genuine person. You're a person that cares. Like you were appalled at how these kids acted towards it, even if it was fake or if it was real. Kids will be kids, but to see the look in their eyes and not have compassion is kind of disturbing, for lack of a better word, to those kids that showed you the video. But for me, the way you've described it and how unsettling it is and how it stuck with you, and the way you shared how they said Boda or whatever, that.
Yeah, and sorry, but I just want to be clear. I don't want to swear to that or say it definitely was that. There was like 15 years or more when I've gone over this incident. I've seen those kids' eyes every day, I think, since that, like just as this thing has haunted me. But it was like a click moment in the last year and a half when I saw a YouTube video about, it was like the were hyena, they call it, the Boda or Buddha. And I was just like, oh, fuck, that's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to bleep that for the channel or
No,
whatever.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
It's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
I just got, for anybody listening, if anybody has had or has seen this video and knows what Ben is talking about, please share it in the comment section, because this has bothered him for 20 years. And it's taken him this long to share it. I'd like to see the video just so I can look at it and kind of figure out what the heck it is. As disturbing, and not to be disturbing about it, but it's sad. I feel bad for these kids either way. So if anybody knows of what video Ben is talking about, please. He's looked on YouTube. It's not on YouTube. It's not on the internet of what he's seen so far. So
also, I haven't looked that hard, because it is, I remember it pretty well.
Right. So, all right. Well, yeah. I know this is the most traumatic one, so I appreciate you sharing that with us. Let's get off of that one so you can
Absolutely. Thank you.
No worries.
And if you can possibly trim out a couple minutes of the babbling or whatever, just whatever. Sorry, it's just was very difficult to. I feel this incredible unburdening right now. I cannot even describe. Thank you, Jeff.
You're absolutely welcome. This is your platform right now, and that's what I said. I just have a platform. You guys are the ones that are helping each other. When I shared my encounter for the first time, I felt great. And I got a lot of positive feedback. So I just have a channel that gives you guys some place to talk in peace and confidentiality and stuff like that. So it's not anything but.
Thank you. Actually, the whole thing that we just have described up to now, I didn't even mention. I think I just very basically mentioned when I initially emailed you, because you weren't doing paranormal stuff at that point. So I was only talking about the second one, which was a physical confrontation. It was also really weird, but but I think it happened a month after the one that we've just gone through. I can't swear to it. I need to check some dates, but I believe that they were close together. They're definitely within the same year or two.
Okay.
Yeah. But so the second one was in New Hampshire. And anything you want to say between them, or should I?
No, you can go right into it. You're good.
Cool. Yeah, and once again, you are an absolute rock star, Jeff, and just good wishes and peace and love, you and your good health.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. It means the world to me.
Oh yeah, no, you're just awesome. Just keep on doing all the good stuff. And so with the platform, then New Hampshire, we saw it from 200 feet away, because it was at the end of the street next to the big garbage enclosure, one of those brown wooden ones that goes around a double wide, standard green trash can, or trash bin, and this happened at 5 p.m. or so it was still light out, and we stepped out the front door and saw this tall black creature that was standing next to this enclosure and was about the height of the thing it was standing next to. And we were, I was 13, 14 or so, So a bit younger, probably a little shorter, but still, like, clearly this thing was 7 feet tall or so, judging by the thing it was standing in front of and next to. And I couldn't gauge by weight. Some people would guess at a thing like that, but, you know, for the time after we saw it, I just thought of it as that weird bear, because there are black bear in New Hampshire, and I've seen some, but I've never seen one as close as this. Right. I've never seen one that was standing on its hind legs like this. And for the entire time we saw it, again, sorry, this is like details are a little jumbled, but it was standing up when we saw it. It was February, when some people have suggested to me, like, this was a bear that might have been scavenging, but, like, if it was a bear that was out when it should have been hibernating. And there was something weird about its legs, which was one of the first things I noticed, and that why I initially thought that it was like a stuffed bear that someone was throwing out, because it was just so big and so solidly black that it was like, there's literally nothing else around here that this could be, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like you said, this thing's huge. You're in New Hampshire. In upstate New York, we have black bear as well. Like, every once in a while, they come down from the mountains. They're not 7 feet tall, standing on their hind legs. And this thing was ginormous.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And as we also talked about before, but sorry, hang on, I'm just gonna, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just switching over something. Sorry, hang on just a sec. But yeah, never seen a thing like it, quite like it. And it was fascinating, which was sort of the thing, because I remember us walking up to see what it was, because it seemed, you know, novel. But it didn't seem, it wasn't that it wasn't intimidating, but like, it just sort of was something we both wanted to get a closer look at, and we walked right up to it. Very, like, it was just standing very still. And then it turned its head and it took a step towards us, and we ran.
Absolutely.
And that's all I remember. And also, just to say, like I said by email and I've said a bit before, when I mean that's all I remember, like, I don't remember its face at all.
Yep.
I don't remember, and that one picture, the West Virginia one, where you can see the tall ears, kind of made me think of this incident, but I don't clearly remember anything about its eyes, its teeth, its hands or paws, or whether it had a tail, but I remember
the legs.
Yeah, the legs and the height and the sense of it. But I think almost it might have gone like, boom.
Okay.
Like, I think if it wanted to have caught up with us, it absolutely could have, but it just, it was a spooky thing to encounter too.
Especially, you know, a short time after the first thing that happened to you, you know.
Yeah, although I didn't
put 2 and 2 together at that time.
Connect them at the time.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when that thing now, so you guys are, just so I can paint a little better of a picture, if you don't mind. You guys are
Mm-hmm.
coming out of the wherever you are, and you see it, and at first you're thinking, "Wow, someone left a stuffed bear." Like, like from the fair. It's just that big. It's huge. That's all you're
Yep.
thinking. Now,
Yep.
how close, like, are you face to face with it, or are you at the side of it and it turns and steps towards you, or how does that work?
Well, it's kind of was like a cul-de-sac end of the street. So
Okay.
when we got up to next to it, I think that whole like area might have been like 30 feet across, but I'm not good with sizes and distances and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Especially being a kid, I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to
exactly.
remember.
So I think we were probably like 15 feet away from it and in daylight, but I can't remember its face or anything else, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not
Just
really. I
weird.
mean, you could, I mean, maybe you will in a couple of years remember it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just suppressed it, deep down. I've had a lot of people say, I've suppressed this for years and I only remember this, but now it's came back to me, and things like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah. Also, oh, sorry, but
no, you
like,
go.
yeah, like some people have said, and I wouldn't even have thought about it this way until I'd heard other people describe it on YouTube stories,
Mhm.
and, using my judgment, what seems like people talking about real stuff and whatnot. But when people talk about it communicating silently or something, or psychically, hang on just a sec.
All right. So, I appreciate Ben. I appreciate you coming and reaching out to me. I know this was hard. I know it was hard just to share all of these two with me. You've been holding on to them for quite a long time. And it's I remember when I first reached out to you back, and you were like, I said, "Hey, would you like to do an interview?" And you're like, "I'll talk to you, but no recording." And I'm like, "That's cool. That's cool." So I appreciate it. It really means a lot that you had faith and trusting me on this. It really does. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we wrap up the video?
Well, again, thank you. And yeah, definitely, I was concerned about it because all of this is very troubling and traumatic and all. But at the same time, I feel I have a moral obligation to share about it. And I haven't been able to up until literally what we're doing right now, because I would not have been able to communicate it to people and be clear that this is something I'm serious about, and it has been harder than I can say to just be having seen this and not being able to really explain it to anyone, or and I want to talk with you more about it as well and in more detail. But I'm just babbling. Thank you so much, Jeff, and you do such great work, and all of this is incredible. And if there are any sympathetic Dogman listening as well, I want to wish everyone peace and love and good things, just harmony to all.
Absolutely. All right, don't hang up. I want to talk to you for a bit, and thank you once again. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, Ben is just a super nice guy. I really enjoyed talking with him. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview and middle of the night or early morning bonus upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is your support, after all, that helps the channel to continue to grow and go. And honestly, what makes it a place for people to share their experiences, ideas, and theories, judgment and ridicule-free, just simply treated with the respect that we all deserve. Thank you. Everyone stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and friends. These creatures are real. They are out there, and they are definitely dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the answers, and God bless.